Welcome to the live premiere, and as you can see, this is the most relative game that I could really be able to have display in the background. And I wanted to just balance the volume so the game volume isn't going to be too loud so everybody can hear. I'm not sure how long this is going to go for, but I just wanted to put some time into a video to start talking about what I'm looking for the new Nicktoons Dice of Destiny game that I'm super excited for. And I know it's an RPG. I'm not bothered by that because I grew up playing all types of RPGs, Final Fantasy, this Gaia, like strategy RPGs, action RPGs like Kingdom Hearts, where it's not turn-based and you can make all the different moves that you want to make. You don't have to wait till it's your turn to attack or to cast a spell or use magic or use items. You can play and do the actions or initiate the actions that you want to with your party. You level up your party, you learn new skills, master abilities, and so much more, new techniques, and even, just depending on what you play, summons. You can summon. I play all those types of different games, and I've been playing RPGs since the PS1 era. So I like the direction that they decided to go with these games. So it's a Nicktoons game, a Nicktoons RPG game, or action RPG called Nicktoons Dice of Destiny, so I'm excited to see how this plays out. So as y'all can see on the screen, I thought this would be the best game to really bring up and use as a reference just to talk about certain characters, and I'm also bring up the stages for the different worlds that I'm looking for this character wish list and predictions video, and then I'm also just really try to get into other extended content that they can add. So just in case certain characters don't make it in, they could get in and get added for DLC for post-launch content in the near future if they do. But I'm not sure if they're gonna probably end up doing DLC for this game. I'm not. That's the big question also, and a lot of people I'm sure are wondering what characters they went for because Timmy Turner is finally back in this game after over a decade. So it's been that long. And he hasn't had a game since the PS2 era. With Breaking the Rules and Shadow Showdown, I haven't played those games, but I would love to check those out. And as someone who just recently started playing the Nicktoons Unite games, I just recently completed the first game. It's cool to see all these characters be able to finally return. Hopefully they got everybody else that was, some others like Jimmy Neutron or others I'm going to be talking about. Maybe hopefully they could possibly be in the game at some point. Maybe they could be some of the hidden characters that that's on that cover art because it's like a giant silhouette of characters that we don't know who else got picked up. Because I think at the max we only know two of the three characters. But I'm going to start getting into that. So let's start talking about the newest Nicktoons crossover revealed at Summer Game Fest. And if you haven't seen it, this is what we're getting this year. It's Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. And seeing Timmy Turner finally make his return into a crossover was something I think not only myself, but everyone else out there is excited about. And now that that door is back open again, who else got picked up? Who else did they negotiate and try to get Nickelodeon to add into this game? So we got Timmy Turner, which I'm happy about. But who else is in this game to join the likes of Timmy Turner and SpongeBob? We only got one character showcase, which was SpongeBob being the knight himself. These characters are not just in the game. Each character are going to have their own classes, so I'm going to be talking about that also. So for me, which was why I'm making this video, I've been wanting to see another Nickelodeon crossover game outside of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3 can wait. That's just my take. Because I want to play something different. I want to play another action adventure or some kind of new Nicktoons adventure game instead of playing another Nickelodeon platform fighter all over again. I had so much fun playing this game, but I'm glad they're going in a different direction. So even if it's not your cup of tea, you don't have to play it. I'm definitely going to be playing this game day one, and as an RPG fan, this is definitely something that's going to be a win-win situation for me because I love RPGs. I played JRPGs and action RPGs beforehand, way long ago since the PS1 era. This is something that I'm definitely excited for to see how this plays and see what other RPG mechanics and elements they have inside this title. So just when you see this trailer, it gives me RPG vibes with the gameplay. So I don't even mind it. So I love RPGs anyway, so I'm excited to see how this plays. So for this first portion of the video, I'm going to have timestamps. So everybody can click on whichever portion that y'all want to listen to. and get into. So if you don't want to watch the full video, you don't have to. If you want to get into this character wish list, that's all going to be listed and typed out into the description, and then the timestamps are going to be on display, so everybody can just pick which y'all want to listen to, or whatever section you're interested in finding out more about for this game if you haven't seen it. And you can also post your wish list in the live premiere today, or in the comments, or even if it's just one character, that's completely fine too. Because some people just be looking for one character to get in. I got the character I want because Timmy Turner's back in the game, but there's so much other characters and other deserving Nicktoons shows that need to get into the spotlight that I would love to see them pick up. Maybe they got in. Maybe they'll get in later if there's DLC. We don't know yet. So a little bit of some game info. So I'm gonna bring up the roster, and I'm gonna also be bringing up the stages, because the stages that they added into this game also can match up to my wish list. And this is the newest Nickelodeon crossover we got. See LT, Ray, SpongeBob, and Aang, two of the characters on the screen, just on the screen on display. These are some of the characters I want to see get either return, or just some others to get represented in this new Nicktoons crossover. So we're gonna have the stages up when I get to the worlds. It's other certain worlds that I want to see, because this game is gonna have more than just one world to be able to traverse. We're gonna be going to all different types of different places that are Nickelodeon inspired fantasy lands that they added into the game. So that excites me even more. Who else got in? What worlds are we going to be going to? And this one in particular that got confirmed that we know for sure, but I'm going to get into that soon. So we don't know what we're going to get. So we're just wondering, who did they go for? They still haven't posted any other showcases, because we only got SpongeBob so far. He's the only character that's only been showcased for gameplay with his abilities and his skill, and he's a knight. SpongeBob is a knight in this game, from what we've seen from the gameplay. So these characters are going to have unique character classes of their own, with their own exclusive abilities and techniques. So what I found out and just reading into it for some game info, what do we know so far about this game? It says, from just the game information, journey across Nickelodeon-inspired fantasy lands on a grand quest inspired by tabletop RPGs and Nicktoons. I was gonna say in Nicktoons Unite and the Dice of Destiny. In Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny, slash, bash, cast spells, and strategize your way to victory against a variety of enemies in fast-paced and fluid action RPG combat. Upgrade your weapons, and master new abilities in solo play. And then the other part that also surprised me, local local co-op for up to 4 players. So this game probably doesn't have any online, which I think will be a lot of fun if you could join others to help them out. So if they're having trouble, they need backup, if they're playing on like a higher difficulty, you could be able to join in to really be able to come to the rescue and really be able to help them out in the fight. Replay the game, play the game together. That'll open up the replay value. I think if they add it online, which I don't think it probably is going to have online, which is okay, unfortunately, it will open up that replay value so you can just keep on trying to play. And then if they have certain achievements or trophy hunters and achievement hunters out there, you could be able to join someone, some other friends, to be able to play and get that co-op trophy. But it just says local co-op for up to 4 players, and you can also play solo. So even without the online, it's all about what kind of content they added in the characters that we have. So each character is going to have classes, and we're going to get into this portion. So that's all we know so far about the game information. So that was just the game info of what we know so far of what it's going to be about for the premise and things like that, and what it's going to play like. So it's an action RPG Nicktoons game. So this portion, we're going to start talking about the character classes, because this is awesome additional information. I might just put them in the same portion for this timestamp to share the same timestamp together, because this is more information that we have about the game. So this character classes so far that we know. So it says character classes from spellcaster and wizard, from spellcaster and wizard to barbarian, knight, and more. So those are the different classes that we have so far. Now, From what we've seen from the trailer, it seems like Timmy is probably going to most likely be a wizard or a spellcaster. All things considered. He could be a wizard or a spellcaster. He might be one of those. He might fall under that class because it fits him and just what he does with the magic wands. Maybe with Cosmo and Wanda, it's only natural for him to be a wizard or a spellcaster. So he'll be able to get all types of different wishes and different spells that he can grant on the field, things like that. And every hero comes with their own unique powers and weapons. And I think this will almost have something to do with the character roster selection. See some of these characters? I'm going to say it again though. Every hero comes with their own unique powers and weapons. So I think this will definitely impact the character selection because it makes you wonder what class would each Nicktoon fall under. Because SpongeBob is a knight from what we saw so far, and Timmy just might be a wizard or a spellcaster, more than likely. So I'm excited to see what other classes they add into this game, but that's why I'm thinking about like certain characters are probably not gonna be able to get in because these characters have classes and they're gonna be so different. Does this game? I think this game would match up with a character like El Tigre, with his claws. Maybe he could be a little bit. I don't know what other classes that they have. Who would fall under a barbarian class? Because maybe someone like, you know, a barbarian would be someone that's power based, tanky, someone tanky that could deal a lot of damage. For example, what character can you guys think of who would be a barbarian? Because that's one of the classes that they spilled from the game information. So we don't even know who could be able to fit that class for being a barbarian. A barbarian is a powerhouse to really deal a lot of damage and things like that. It's so many other potential possibilities. Like, what if Aang is in it? Maybe he could be a spellcaster. Timmy definitely could be a wizard. But Aang has the power of the elements, so that'll probably make him a good spellcaster. Having the power of the fire, water, earth, and and air, being an airbender and things like that. The Avatar himself, he could be a spellcaster. Korra and Aang, if they get in. The Avatar has not even been in none of these crossovers for a Nicktoons game. So it's just so many questions. The big question is who fits this game because of the classes. Who would you pick? And just for me, just trying to come up with a wish list, it's a little difficult to really think of the characters because they're going to be part of the medieval times. And it seems like Jenny is one of them, considering the cluster. The cluster is involved. So maybe she's in it. But see how the characters, it's not just having a character in it, the character classes have to come into play. What class would she be in? What other classes would Jimmy Neutron be in? He's a genius. He has all types of different inventions and gadgets. So it's going to be really hard to really try to pick a class with some of these characters. That's probably why they're taking so long with some of the showcases, because some of them will have to be showcased at some point with all their abilities, but the class has to match them. You cannot change a class from the characters. They're just going to be stuck with that individual class or that classification of being put in to fit their character style and gameplay. So it's so difficult to really try to think of the characters that they could possibly be able to get in. I don't think Rocco's going to get in. Because I think not all will be able to get in. Because I'm afraid, Rocco's not going to be able to get in, for example. I think Danny Phantom's going to be in, for sure. I'm not even sure if this game will even get DLC because the story and roster is already set in stone. But for the roster itself, you guys can share your wish list, but just with all these characters that we have, since this is the closest thing, I think Zuko might end up showing up if we do get some kind of Avatar ropes. I'm gonna get into the wish list in just a few seconds. But just when you think about the game, it just makes you keep thinking about the RPG style. And since these characters have classes, it makes it so much more difficult to figure out who's gonna get picked up. Do they belong in this game? Do they fit? And I don't want to be that person to say this. maybe this isn't a game for Garfield. It would be cool to see him. I want him to be in a game as well. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And maybe he could be a knight in his own, with his own goofy attacks. Throwing lasagna, he can eat lasagna to power up. And just with the RPG style mechanics for an idea, Garfield can just be able to eat lasagna, you know, every now and then, because it can go on a cooldown period, and it could just you could just use it to recover some health a little bit, to really just recuperate. So it'll be cool to see Garfield be able to get into this game. Hopefully he could be able to shine, and I'm not even sure. It's just it makes you it makes it this that much more difficult to really try to pick characters that can really be able to belong in this game, because there's so many. And considering that Timmy got in, they probably went after some other additional characters. So I wanted to get into the wish list for characters that I want to be able to see, things like that, get into the game, and then maybe they can get in later possibly. But it's just a big question. We don't know. We don't know who else got in besides Timmy, SpongeBob, and then Jenny Wakeman is possibly gonna get in and confirm because of the cluster. This is a game I want to see how all kinds of shows included, since the door has finally been open again, with Timmy finally being able to make its return. So getting into the wish list, this is going to be shared. El Tigre for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, since we have this on the game. There's so many different characters that I want to be able to see in this game. I think this game would fit him, and they might even add others who made it into the recent Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. That's why I have this up. They might even add some other characters that recently got in to the game alongside of him, because El Tigre was the newest rep for this game, and even the Angry Beavers, Daggett and Norbert. I think that'll really be a lot of fun to play and really cool to see, because they can fight as a duo and fight together and see how they develop the gameplay style for Daggett and Norbert. You could switch between the Beavers, and Daggett and Norbert each have their own moves, and they can call upon each other to summon. They have their little bit of a summon, like I was gonna say Rocket or Rocky. Rocco has he can summon Spunky, so Spunky could be summoned by Rocco, but Daggett and Norbert can be able to call upon each other to summon and switch. You could switch out and summon right then and there with their playstyle, and that could be some cool little combos to be able to use in this game for Nicktoons Dice of Destiny. But we don't even know if they went as far back as adding classic characters like the Angry Beavers. But I think we're definitely be able to get a chance to see some of these other Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 characters that recently got in that were new reps, like Azula, for example, that could be able to appear. But this wish list that I'm going to get into, that I'm getting into right now, is mainly protagonist characters, and then I'm going to get into the bosses and then the worlds that I want to see. Avatar representation is missing and still missing, so we don't have Aang, we don't have any of the characters from the Water Tribe and Zuko being in. It's so cool to see these kind of costumes. The Blue Spirit, Zuko, and all them. We haven't never gotten Avatar representation from a Nicktoons Unite game, so maybe this game could be the game to make the difference. Aang and maybe even Korra can finally join a Nicktoons game. Rudy and Snap for Chaozone. I think a lot of people would love to see this, and I'm just mentioning them because I'm thinking about the gameplay and the abilities that they can do and all the different techniques. Rudy can be able to draw with his magic chalk, and he can draw just about anything and create anything and bring it to life with his magic chalk. So Chalk Zone is something that I'm looking for either Rudy or Snap to really get picked up. Jimmy Neutron definitely deserves to return yet again to reunite SpongeBob, Jimmy, and Timmy, and then Danny Phantom. It'll complete the original heroes. The gang will be all together again for the original heroes from the first Nicktoons Unite. Danny Phantom, I think is going to be one. I think he's one of those characters that's in a silhouette. I think it's the one where it shows two characters. I think one of them is Danny Phantom, because of his hairstyle, because you can really see his hair really stick out in the silhouette. I think Danny Phantom definitely got into the game. This other set for characters, I think Max and the Midknights, maybe it's too early for them because it's too new of a show. Max and the Midknights is set in the medieval times. This is a game for them. Is it too early? Maybe some of you guys could probably just react to that. Maybe Match and the Midknights could probably get in as DLC later on for post-launch content as an idea. But I put them in my wish list because this is a game for them. Anybody remember the X's, the classics, the secret agents with the family of secret agents? It'll be cool to see them get into this game. I hope that they got picked up. Even throwbacks from KaBlam. And I wanted to just throw them in here. The KaBlam series is one of my favorites, just as an idea. And I was just trying to make sure I didn't add them in twice. But KaBlam's remember Prometheus and Bob? Maybe we could be able to go there. Maybe they can get added in. KaBlam is one of my favorite classic shows from the old school Nicktoons, old school Nickelodeon shows. KaBlam would be something I would love to see. And then Tack being a spellcaster and being able to cast magic. Tack and the Power of JuJu would be amazing. I would love to see Tack in this game, and I think he would be able to be a great spellcaster or a wizard, since those are some of the classes that we have. He could be a spellcaster like Timmy or a wizard because he has the power to really be able to cast and be able to summon. He'll have all types of unique abilities and techniques. Tack deserves to be in this game. This is a game for Tack. Out of everybody else that I mentioned so far, I think Tack deserves to be in this game because of the RPG mechanics of being, casting spells and just what he's capable of. Maybe they got him in this game as well. I don't know about Arnold, but I added him in. Arnold could be a fighter and be someone that could be, maybe he could be a barbarian or some kind of Viking or something like that. They could do something like that for him, for his outfit. Arnold Shortman could be like a Viking to really be able to get added into Nicktoons Dice of Destiny as an idea. He never got into into the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but we got his best buddy, Gerald. Gerald could be able to get in. Grandma Gertie, I don't even know if she'll be able to get in. But she's a martial artist. She's a martial artist. So she's a combat specialist. So she knows all the combat and fighting technique ability in the world. So it'll be cool to see Hey Arnold get in. Some kind of Hey Arnold route. But I don't even know if they're going to even go as far as adding them in this game. T.U.F.F Puppies, Dudley Puppy, and Kitty Katswell. I definitely had to get into this wish list. Since they got Timmy, maybe they got T.U.F.F Puppy back into this game. Anybody want to see the Loud House characters? I don't even know if they're going to even get picked up. Loud House in this game. But I wouldn't mind seeing the Loud House get in, like Lincoln Loud, for example, to make his return. Because he didn't even make the cut. He got cut completely out of this roster. Only one sibling is in this. It's only Lucy Loud that's holding down the Loud House series itself. She's the only one who made it in. No one else really got into this game from the Loud House itself besides 2 additional stages. Mighty B, Bessie Higgenbottom. I haven't seen anyone bring her up for a wish list. Mighty B deserves to be in this game. She could be mighty in this kind of game and really be able to showcase her abilities. What do you guys think of the Wonder Pets? I also added Wonder Pets in this wish list. I don't even know if they're going to be in. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Linny the guinea pig, Ming-Ming, Ming-Ming, Duckling, and then Turtle from Wonder Pets. That'll be really funny to see, but they're heroes. This is something that I think will really have them belong. And then we don't even know if we're going to get glitch text. And when I was doing some digging on this show, it seems like Nickelodeon still has the rights. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Nickelodeon still has the rights to glitch text, and Netflix only has the rights to air the show, unless something got changed. But glitch text will be something fun to really be able to see. And just as a wish list, it's so many different characters that can get in. Maybe it's DLC, glitch text DLC, and be able to get the world added for paid DLC. People will buy it. And a lot of people will probably buy this game, even if they skip out on it during this launch day. They'll buy it just for some of these characters to get in. Now we want to start talking about the bosses and villains I want to just run through. Can't have all these heroes during the medieval times with the knights. SpongeBob is gonna run into SpongeBob and all the other Nicktoons are gonna run into all types of different heroes, well, all the different types of villains that's gonna be in this game. So I added a little bit of a villains wish list. From the Crypt, Angelica the Evil Queen. I definitely want to see this happen. Notice how I didn't mention the Rugrats as playable characters. I think they could do a boss or some kind of world inspired for Tales from the Crypt, Snow White from the Rugrats movie or the Rugrats special, Tales from the Crypt, Angelica the Evil Queen. I would love to see added as a boss. Invader Zim. Zim deserves to be a boss. I don't even know if they're gonna have any of the Rugrats characters be playable. It just fits the game because when you watch Tales from the Crypt, it's set in the same time from the same era. This is something that matches up to the game. Invader Zim deserves to be a boss. Legend of Korra's Amon or Zaheer. Queen Vexus makes a lot of sense to finally join this game. She didn't even become a playable character, unfortunately, to take on Jenny Wakeman to try to convert her into the cluster to join. This could be the game for Queen Vexus to make her appearance in to join this game. She's the ruler. She's the ruler of the cluster, and the cluster themselves are the set of enemies or some of the unique enemies that you encounter in this game. It only makes the most sense to have Queen Vexus be in this game. I think she is guaranteed to be in this game. I was going as far as saying that. Out of any other character, Queen Vexus definitely has to be in this game. Since we got Timmy, Mr. Crocker and Vicky will be awesome to see for bosses. And if they go Avatar, if Avatar gets into the game, I think Azula and Firelord Ozai will be awesome to see. Firelord Ozai rules the nation. He rules the Fire Nation. And maybe Aang and Zuko could be the heroes working together to dethrone the Fire Nation and save the world. So I went with Ozai and Azula for Avatar characters, and then Zaheer and Amon for Legend of Korra. I don't think the TMNT is going to be in this game, but they all have their own unique weapons. Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. If TMNT was to get in, I would probably just only get one of them, like Leonardo, for example, being the leader with his katanas. I would love all four if they do get in, but how would they do it though? Because that's just going to be additional 4 characters that's already going 4 slots for playable characters. Maybe this roster could be 25, 30 characters or more. Maybe even post-launch content down the road. But I went with Shredder if the TMNT were to get into this roster to get some representation. Shredder, because he's already a boss in this game for All-Star Brawl 2. But he just ended up getting cut, so he wasn't a playable character. And you see how they got Rocksteady? Bebop and Rocksteady could probably be able to show up as minor bosses or sub-bosses to really be able to slow you down before you even try to reach the Shredder. King Jellyfish for SpongeBob's world, and then I also went with Plankton. I think he'll be a playable boss that we'll probably be able to end up being able to see. And I'm also going to bring up a particular world in just a little bit. So Plankton, and then Danny Phantom's Vlad Plasmius. I don't think Ember's going to return, but I think I would love to see Vlad Plasmius make his return. He's a boss in this game, but he wasn't playable at all, even when you finish the story. So Vlad Plasmius, I think, will definitely be able to return from the Nicktoons games. And then for Jimmy Neutron, I went with King Goobot from the movie. I wonder if they're going to go with him or maybe Professor Calaminus, who was already part of the Evil Syndicate. Maybe the full Evil Syndicate will be able to return with Plankton. We'll be able to reunite Plankton, Vlad Plasmius, Professor Calaminus, things like that. It just goes on and on. And then Mr. Crocker, which was the full Evil Syndicate. The Evil Syndicate could potentially return for the full bosses and villains. So that's going to wrap up the villains. I didn't want to just keep on adding more and more. There's so many other potential ideas. In this final portion, fantasy lands. These games are going to have Nickelodeon. Well, this game is going to have Nickelodeon-inspired fantasy lands and worlds. And Bikini Bottomshire is is the one world that we know about so far. So that's obviously SpongeBob's world. Bikini Bottom's bottom. It said Bikini Bottom Shire is the name of it. So this world is already confirmed to be in the game from SpongeBob's representation. We don't know any other worlds that's in this. So who's gonna rule over Bikini Bottom Shire? It's definitely gotta be Plankton, and it might be some others. Maybe they'll add in King Neptune. Maybe they'll add in Flying Dutchman, who's also a boss in this game, who could probably be able to cause some trouble in the story. So these lands now want to bring up the stages. They're very well done in this game. Flying Dutchman shows, and then we got Jellyfish Fields. We got all two different versions of the game for Bikini Bottom, and they even added Cunt Street just for DLC for additional free updates before the game slowed down. Well, discontinued with content. We got all these different SpongeBob stages. Who's gonna run and take over Bikini Bottom Shire? That's the only world that we know that's confirmed for SpongeBob's. So some other ones, some worlds real quick that I want to get into, that I want to see. We got Jimmy Neutron's lab, but I wanted to see Retroville in this game. So I added Retroville, the Go song for Danny Phantom. So we got Clockwork's Lair, Miracle City. See, we got Miracle City Volcano in this game. Maybe we'll be able to explore Miracle City and from the Adventures of Manny Rivera for El Tigre. I would love to see that. Fairy World, which was also, I think this is the closest thing that can make me think of it. I would say this. Food Dream for Garfield makes me think it looks the closest thing to Fairy World. Someone used this as an example. Fairy World was one of the worlds that we can get into and explore in Nicktoons Unite when Mr. Crocker was taking over. The Four Nations for the Avatar. For Avatar The Last Airbender. We got the Fire Masters meeting for Avatar The Last Airbender. And then we also got the Spirit World, the Harmonic Convergence for Avatar, the Legend of Korra. So they can add one of those. But maybe the Four Nations, if Aang gets in, they can add in Fire Nation. We could be able to go to the Water Tribe for a little bit. You see how it's so much content and so many worlds that they can be able to have. And then we got Tremerton. I added that as well because I really love Tremerton. They gave it two different versions in this game. Here it is. It's two different variations. The variations are different. See the sun sticking out, and then this one is the original Tremerton. Tremerton Joyride is going to be something I want to really be able to see. Tremerton or Planet Cluster Prime, since we got the cluster being able to attack us, that'll be, well, attacking us into the game for unique enemies. That's something that I want to see added for a world. Added Bailey or Bailey from Glitch Test, or maybe like a video game inspired world for Glitch Test. If anyone out there has played Kingdom Hearts, see how they did Tron's world in Kingdom Hearts? We were able to go into the NPC and help out Tron and be able to destroy the NPC, and Sark, who was also involved into the this world. They could make that world for Glitch Test as a playable DLC expansion. I don't even think it's probably going to get picked. A Loud House world, because we got, the world allows the Loud Castle. See this? This could probably be something as an idea. This is the perfect example. The Loud Castle. We can go here and play as Lincoln Loud and help him out and his friends. Maybe some of the siblings might show up for the background characters. I don't know if they're going to be playable. Lincoln Loud, we could go on down to the Loud Castle and be able to storm the castle, and we could probably have some other enemies show up with his unique enemies. And then, last but not least, DLC worlds for post-launch content. I don't even know if they're going to even go this route. If the Wild Thornberries doesn't get in, they can add that, as some kind of idea. I almost forgot to show the Western Air Temple for Avatar, representation. It's just so many different things that I want to see. It's so many different worlds that go on and on and on. If the TMNT do not get into this game, we could go down to New York and help out Leonardo, Mikey, Donatello, and Raphael in New York. Hit the streets of New York for a TMNT DLC expansion. Fairplay Labs does DLC. Fairplay Labs does post-launch content, unlike Bamtane. So they can do some new worlds. New worlds can get in post-launch. Like I said, Glitch Test, I don't think it's going to be part of the base game if they go that route. Cat Dog and all these other shows, not all these different shows, or not all these characters going to be able to get into the game because it's already set in stone that, even just what I was saying before, this game in particular, the characters have classes. So the characters have to fit the classes to really fit the gameplay and the RPG mechanics. So that's what's kind of stopping me and being hesitant on adding certain characters because I feel like Ren and Stimpy probably not gonna get in. Nigel Thornberry will be fun to see. I don't know what they're gonna do with Garfield, but I think he'll be fun to play, and he can be have his own little goofy moveset with his abilities to really be able to help SpongeBob and the others. And just like I mentioned at the beginning, every character is going to have their own unique skill. It even says it right here that I just read. Upgrade your weapons and master new abilities in solo play or local co-op. Every character is going to be able to slash, bash, cast spells, and strategize. These character classes, it just says it. Every hero comes with their own unique powers and weapons. So the unique powers for Garfield is limitless. It's so many other characters. Ren and Stimpy could be another potential playable duo. That's why I wanted to use this game for example. It's so much potential to use other characters to really be able to get added into this game to really be able to shine. And even if they don't get in at the base roster, Fair Play Labs Fair Play Labs does post launch content. They have that history, so we can get other worlds and other characters that's missing. So I'm hoping to see Jimmy, Danny, El Tigre, and all the other characters that I mentioned can definitely be base roster, but hopefully no one gets left out from the base roster. But it's guaranteed to happen considering the decisions. But we got Timmy. That's all I really wanted. So now I'm curious to see who else got picked up. It's great to see him back. I want to see El Tigre back. I want to go to all these worlds and explore. But the game just can go on and on, so they don't have to make another title. They don't have to make another new game. They could just keep on adding to this game while they're working on speedrunners too and other stuff. Since we got this new crossover, other characters can be able to get in new fantasy worlds alike. Let me know what y'all think. Maybe it's just one character that you're looking for. Maybe some characters that you think probably won't make it in could get in for DLC content later on. I'm really excited for this game, and we'll be able to see who gets into this game and who got picked up when they come out with these showcases.